speakers and our esteemed guests to the evening, which is the inaugural edition of SIDBI MSME Conclave 2024, presented in association with the Economic Times. Few days back, ladies and gentlemen, SIDBI had thought that it would give a call to MSME, and MSME picks up the call. MSME says, micro, medium, small enterprises and big dreams speaking. SIDBI in return says policy advocacy and financial solutions has connected with you, dear MSME. MSME quickly understands and makes a guess, because who else could give such financial assistance, and says, is it SIDBI calling? SIDBI says, yes, dear MSME. Now, MSME realizes that it has confidence rooted to its contribution in the GDP of this country, and has started giving its USP and starts saying that our regional development contribution and our flexibility and adaptability over the larger businesses. Also, our supply chain integration has become a dining table conversation in the country these days. SIDBI also recognizes this and in all honor says, yes, we do identify this, MSME, and we also realize our common role and responsibility towards financial inclusion and also towards nurturing the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the time when they get a call waiting from. Any guesses? Who would be calling MSME and SIDBI? Anyone who would want to make a guess here? Yes, it's the Economic Times. Possibly Neha Devan, because she has 2 contact numbers. She uses 2 mobile phones as well and gives simultaneously, because she's a multi-talented person. She could make 2 calls at the same time. Both the parties get a call from Economic Times, and since we are friends with ET, we immediately take MSME, SIDBI and ET on a conference call. ET felicitates the conversation, the dialogue, and also advises to have a diverse dialogue in the country, wherein we can tap on the tier 2 cities of the country, and also to ensure that we have representatives from the political side, and also if we could include the MSME unit holders, the owners of the industries, so that they could bring in their industries expertise, they could bring in their operational know-hows, and could also bring in the market insights. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, they could bring in the wealth of knowledge and experience. And today, here, we all are sitting together, ladies and gentlemen. It's my immense pleasure to be announcing yet again that we welcome you to the inaugural edition of SIDBI MSME Conclave 2024 in the cleanest city of India, Indore, in the heartland state of India, Madhya Pradesh. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please give it up for the nationwide series, which is starting from Indore. And to add to this, we must mention that Indore edition of SIDBI MSME Conclave focuses on highlighting the dynamic world of MSME sectors within Madhya Pradesh, and to understand and to talk about its significance in shaping India's economic landscape. And now with this, I'd like to invite on stage Ms. Neha Devan, Assistant News Editor, Economic Times Online, on stage to give a welcome message to everybody and to make us all understand what are we about to start within the series. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome Neha Devan on stage.
Thank you, Megha, for that wonderful introduction. And MSME seems like a very lively place at this point of time with the wonderful words she has given, and hope you all are having a very good evening. I want to tell a little bit more about this conclave and what it seeks to do. The SIDBI ET MSME Conclave is a series of events nationwide and is aimed at catalyzing the next wave of growth and enabling knowledge exchange that can pave the way forward for sustainable growth among MSMEs. With cities such as Indore, Bhubaneswar, Aurangabad, Rajkot, and Belagavi as part of the series, the conclave aims to bring together MSMEs, policymakers, and ecosystem enablers. The MSME sector in the country is known for its entrepreneurial achievements and ambition, and the MSME Conclave aims to provide the platform to strengthen small businesses in the country. With 63 million MSMEs in the country, it is imperative that the sector succeeds in order to chart the path of development for India as a nation. MSME's contribution to the GDP and exports is reflected in the progress of the economy. The sector is poised to contribute to 50% of the country's GDP by 2030. MSMEs contribute significantly to the economic and social development of the country by fostering entrepreneurship and generating large employment at comparatively lower capital cost, next only to agriculture. Our first city in the series, Indore, seeks to focus on the host of small businesses in the city, famously known as the economic capital of Madhya Pradesh. Industries such as plastics, textiles, F&B, and manufacturing showcase the city's thriving entrepreneurial spirit. A strategic location, low operational costs, and its cosmopolitan strengths makes Indore a vibrant place for small businesses. I would like to once again welcome you all to this summit, which seeks to capture a very pivotal segment of the country. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Diwan, for giving us the brief about what are we going to do with this nationwide series. And now, ladies and gentlemen, is to move towards the keynote address, which would be on the theme of empowering MSMEs, unveiling SIDBI 2.0's integrated financial ecosystem. And to address the gathering, we would like to call on stage Mr. Prakash Kumar, who took charge as Deputy Managing Director of SIDBI on November 7, 2023. Prior to this, he was the Chief General Manager in SIDBI and headed several important verticals. He has also led the prestigious Poorest State Inclusive Growth project implemented by SIDBI with support from DFID UK. He has more than 28 years of experience in SIDBI in varied areas such as SME financing, microfinancing, risk management, treasury, NPA management, business process re-engineering, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands together as we welcome Shri Prakash Kumarji on stage.
Thank you. We have with us our chief guest, Shri Shankar Lalwani ji, Honorable MP of Indore. We welcome him. Respected Shri Lalwani ji and my dear colleagues who are sitting here, senior colleagues, the entrepreneurs, the MSME entrepreneurs who are here, and I think we have a host of people attending this program. There are people who provide various types of services to MSMEs. I'm told they are also here. So on behalf of SIDBI, let me extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Many of you may be aware what SIDBI is, what SIDBI does. Before you came, there was a video playing also, and we have SIDBI customers also sitting here. SIDBI is actually the apex direct finance, developmental financial institution for the promotion, finance, and development of MSMEs in the country, controlled by the Ministry of Finance, central government. SIDBI was set up in 1990 with the objective of promoting the MSME segment in the country, not only through financing, but through other developmental activities as well. Primarily, our function is refinancing. So we refinance to banks, we refinance to NBFCs, we refinance to microfinance institutions. But Unlike a typical DFI, SIDBI also has a large direct lending book. In MP, we have offices in Bhopal and Indore, and we cater to the direct lending, through direct lending schemes, we cater directly to the MSMEs also, which actually gives us a lot of insight into the issues and the problems which is faced by the MSMEs, and which actually helps us in developing the other programs for the promotion and development of the MSMEs. So, while I talk about the various initiatives which SIDBI has taken recently, in brief, my colleagues who are here during the course of the day, as we are discussing this very important topic, they'll be talking in more detail about what we are doing, what we are thinking currently, how to take this MSME sector forward. We all know that MSMEs are a very important part of the Indian economy, contributing around 30% of the gross domestic product and around 45% of the exports in the country. If India has to achieve the vision of 5 trillion economy, which is given by our Honorable Prime Minister, MSMEs are the sector. MSME is the sector which has to deliver. It has to deliver big, and then only perhaps we can achieve this dream of becoming the third largest economy in the world. Now, while we talk about MSMEs, we understand that MSMEs, the gamut of MSMEs starts from very small, tiny micro enterprises, informal micro enterprises, to say small enterprises, to medium enterprises. And the problems, the challenges, etc. of each of this segment is completely different. But one thing which is very clear is that this 30% contribution to GDP is not sufficient. This has to be taken to around 45 to 50% of the GDP as per the developed economy standards. Then only we'll be able to achieve this larger dream, and for which the entrepreneurs who are sitting here, they have a very important role to play. And the entire government of India, the state government, and institutions like SIDBI, we are all behind this. The main objective of this conclave today, as was being discussed, is that SIDBI is a very, very innovative organization. So we want to understand that whatever we are doing for the development and promotion of the MSME sector, what else can be done, where are the gaps, and collectively what else can be done to give a boost to the MSME sector. If I come to my direct lending activities, we have taken a lot of steps in the past couple of years, wherein we have digitized our entire direct lending journey. And those of you have been dealing with SIDBI, you will perhaps know that how the efficiencies have been brought in our lending processes. The end-to-end journey is completely digital. There's hardly any paper which is used in the sanction process. And very recently, last 6 months or so, we have come out with an automated lending product from machinery finance, which is called Express, wherein you don't even have to come to the branch to get a sanction. If you require a machine, you just log into SIDBI's website and log into that page, furnish all your inputs, informations, and within fraction of minutes, you get the decision whether loan is sanctioned or not, then the formalities are to be completed. So this is the kind of thing which is happening. So with the advent of the digital rails which India has put in, with the advent of new developments which are taking place, mostly around GST ecosystem, the account aggregator ecosystem, the connectivity of various platforms, the data can be very easily fetched. The lending process has become very, very simplified, and you all must have experienced this. We'll be talking more about, my colleague will be talking more about what other things we are planning to do. This was, what I talked about was a machinery loan, but a similar thing can be done through a revolving working capital facility also, through a complete online mode, which is, we are calling it GST Sahay, where you can get your invoices discounted and to get money in a completely seamless online manner. On the informal enterprises sector, which again is a very, very big sector. A lot of work has been done by SIDBI. There was a mention of the Prayas scheme here, in which we are trying to reach out to the lowest bottom of the pyramid segment through loans between 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees. And this program, which was started around 2 to 3 years back, has reached more than 1.5 lakh direct customers for SIDBI through partnerships. Now we enter into partnerships with entities who are working on the field. It can be microfinance institutions, it can be a banking correspondent company. But this program is also very successfully rolled out, and we have big plans to take it forward. Another major area is on which SIDBI is working is formalization of this informal segment, because again, unless this bottom of the pyramid segment comes up and deliver, as you will all agree, the things will not move in the way it should move. So you all know, the MSMEs who are here, you all know that for getting all the government benefits, there is a process called Udyam registration, wherein you have to give your IT details, the GST details, etc., and you get a Udyam registration certificate, and which is a unique identifier for identifying your business. But the informal segment enterprises who do not have GST registrations, you can imagine they can't get this Udyam registration certificate. Now, we worked with the Ministry of MSME to solve this problem, and there's a parallel platform which has been created, which is called Udyam Assist platform, through which even the informal micro enterprises, with the help of their lenders, it can be MFIs, it can be NBFCs, or it can even be banks, they are able to get themselves registered on this Udyam registration portal. This is an assist process where, in the absence of data which is coming in from GST and the ITR, etc., the validation of this data is done by the lenders themselves. And we are happy to share that almost more than 1 crore informal micro enterprises today, in the less than a period of a year, they have got registered on this platform, and this number is just increasing. So if you may have some idea that as per the last census, NSSO census, it's estimated that there are 7 crores 7 crores MSMEs in the country, more than 90% of which is informal enterprises. And it's very important to bring them in the formal kind of a fold, so that their credit needs, etc., can also be taken care of. Now, this was about the lending side, the direct lending side, the refinance side of SIDBI. Now, I'll come to the developmental side of SIDBI, which is also a very, very important piece in the overall scheme of things. And I'm happy to say that we run a cluster development program. We have been doing this for many years, and recently we are actually launching a cluster development program in the engineering and the pharma cluster at Indore. The process is in final stages. The program will be launched very soon. Now, cluster development program, what happens is that in the cluster, like you have a pharma cluster here, we get the stakeholders together through the industry associations. We discuss with them, we try to identify the gaps. If it requires a policy advocacy with the state government or central government, that is done. If any intervention is required to be done, there's a need for a business development service provider to help these units in the cluster, that is supported. We bring BDS providers who can actually support these MSMEs. This program will run for 2 years, and we are launching 20 clusters in very, very soon, in the next couple of months. Out of this, one of the clusters, as I said, is going to be the Indore cluster, Pharma and General Engineering. Like this, we have been doing many, many developmental initiatives, but as I said, the idea is to, in the today's conference, is to discuss, deliberate. Just add one more thing, that we are working closely with the state government. In the Ministry of Industries, MSME, we have set up a project management unit, which actually is helping shape the policies of the state government for the MSMEs. So through this PMU, project management unit, where our people are stationed with the state government, we are able to work with the state government to come out with the right kind of policies which can actually help the MSMEs in the country. And also one final initiative, which is what we are calling Swavlamban Connect Kendra. Now, in 37 districts of MP, this program has been launched, in which these Swavlamban Connect Kendras, which has been set up, the idea of these Kendras are to help the smaller micro enterprises to facilitate the process of getting the loans under various government schemes. Now, you know that this process becomes sometimes very cumbersome, and the enterprises do not have the wherewithals to apply for the loan. So this Swavlamban Connect Kendras will help them in preparing a DPR. It will also help them in organizing EDP programs for them, building their capacities, etc., and getting them loans from the banks. So we are working with a lot of players. There are maybe in the room many of the NGOs or business development service providers who are working with the MSMEs. We are open to partner with you. The idea is that together we have to work for the benefit of the MSMEs and make this very, very important sector deliver in a big way so that we are able to achieve the larger goal which has been set for this country of making this a 5 trillion economy and the third largest, perhaps, country in terms of GDP in the world. So I wish this program all the success, and I hope that we'll be having very, very good, engaging discussions in today's this session that's going to unfold before us. And there'll be a lot of takeaways for SIDBI and perhaps for all of us at the end of this program. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prakash Kumarji. We'd request you to kindly stay back for some time. Thank you so much for shedding the light on the SIDBI 2.0's integrated financial ecosystem and providing valuable insights on the array of policies, initiatives, and schemes. Ladies and gentlemen, now we please request Ms. Neha Devan to kindly come on stage and please present a token of
That's not required.
appreciation and a token of gratefulness to Shri Prakash Kumarji. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Neha. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and advocates of economic vitality, it is now my immense pleasure and great anticipation that we welcome a luminary in our midst, a stalwart leader, a beacon of political acumen, and a passionate supporter of the entrepreneurial spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to be inviting on stage Honorable Shri Shankar Lal Vani ji, Member of Parliament, Indore, who has also been our former Chairman of Indore Development Authority. Please join your hands together as we welcome Honorable on stage.
नमस्कार। सिडबी के इस बहुत ही एमएसएमई के कॉन्क्लेव में आदरणीय प्रकाश कुमार जी, नेहा जी, यहाँ उपस्थित सभी एमएसएमई के मेरे मित्रों को मैं बधाई भी देता हूँ कि उन्होंने ये कार्यक्रम इंदौर में आयोजित किया। और इस कॉन्क्लेव में हमारे एमएसएमई के बहुत सारे मित्र यहाँ पर आए हुए हैं। हमारे पूर्व वक्ताओं ने, नेहा जी ने भी, प्रकाश कुमार ने भी बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से सिडबी और एमएसएमई के बारे में हमें बताया। देखिए, जब नेहा जी बता रही थी, मैं सुन रहा था कि एग्रीकल्चर के बाद एमएसएमई एक ऐसा सेक्टर है जो सबसे ज़्यादा रोज़गार देता है। और यही नहीं, रोज़गार के साथ साथ कम पूंजी में ज़्यादा रोज़गार ये एमएसएमई देता है। और हमारी इकोनॉमी की जो बैकबोन है वो एमएसएमई है। और अगर हम कहें कि हमारी इकोनॉमी को आगे बढ़ाना है तो एमएसएमई को और हमें आगे बढ़ाना चाहिए। इसको लेकर हमारी सरकार, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में एमएसएमई के बहुत सारे इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं। और ख़ास करके हमने कोविड में देखा किस प्रकार जो एक टाइम था उस समय जब एमएसएमई की इंडस्ट्रियाँ बहुत ही एक बेड शेड में थी, उस समय माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक बूस्टर डोज एमएसएमई को भी दिया था। और मुझे लगता है कि उसको लेकर एमएसएमई की बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्रियाँ जो बंद होने की कगार पर थी वो सर्वाइव कर पाई और अब अच्छी भी चल रही है। किस प्रकार एमएसएमई को और बढ़ावा दिया जाए, ये सरकार की लगातार प्रयास होते हैं। और जैसे बताया गया कि अभी एमएसएमई का जीडीपी में लगभग 30-35% कंट्रीब्यूशन है, और सरकार की ये मंशा है कि आने वाले 2030 में मोर देन 50% एमएसएमई की इसमें कंट्रीब्यूशन होना चाहिए, और एक्सपोर्ट भी बढ़ना चाहिए। बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्रियां हैं जो एमएसएमई जो एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ा रही है। हमारे इंदौर में भी बहुत सारे ऐसे इंडस्ट्रियां हैं जो एक्सपोर्ट कर रही है, लेकिन अभी पोटेंशियल और है एक्सपोर्ट करने का, और सरकार इसमें भी मदद कर रही है कि किस प्रकार हम एमएसएमई का एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ाएं। उसके लिए बहुत सारी पॉलिसी भी आई है। डिजिटल के बारे में अभी कुमार जी ने कहा, प्रकाश कुमार जी ने बहुत ही सही कहा कि सभी क्षेत्र में जिस प्रकार डिजिटल हो रहा है, सिडबी में भी बहुत ही रिवोल्यूशन आया है कि सब प्रोसेस ऑनलाइन है और विद इन ए मिनट आपको मालूम पड़ जाएगा कि आपका लोन सेंक्शन हुआ है और फॉर्मेलिटी आगे होगी। तो ये डिजिटल का कमाल है, और उसके कारण जो टाइम और एनर्जी सेव हो रही है, मुझे लगता है कि इसको लेके एमएसएमई को मदद मिलेगी सही। एक प्रकाश कुमार जी ने अच्छी बात कही कि इंदौर में हम क्लस्टर, खास करके फार्मा और इंजीनियरिंग के क्षेत्र में क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट के लिए हम यह प्रोग्राम चलाएंगे। तो मैं उसको मैं चाहूँगा कि और भी क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट के प्रोग्राम हैं, क्योंकि हमारे इंदौर और इंदौर के आसपास बहुत सारी एमएसएमई इंडस्ट्रियां हैं जो फार्मा इंजीनियरिंग के अलावा भी जिनको इसकी ज़रूरत है। तो आने वाले समय में इंदौर में और क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट के लिए आप प्रोग्राम लाएंगे, ये मैं ज़रूर कहूँगा। मैं इस अवसर पर शुभकामना देना चाहता हूँ, और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो सपना है कि 2047 में भारत की इकनॉमी विश्व की इकनॉमी में लीड करेगी। अभी हम 2.75 के ट्रिलियन में हैं, और जिस प्रकार ग्रोथ रेट बढ़ रही है, मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले कुछ ही वर्षों में हम बहुत ही अच्छी स्थिति में रहेंगे। जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री का जो थर्ड टर्म रहेगा उनका 3 ट्रिलियन पे रहेगा, और आने वाले में 5 ट्रिलियन का जो सपना है उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा रोल रहेगा तो हमारे एमएसएमई का रहेगा। तो आपको बधाई, शुभकामनाएं, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
माननीय, आपसे निवेदन है आप कुछ समय और मंच पर बने रहें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय श्री शंकर लालवानी जी का कि आपने हमें यहाँ मंच पर आज ज्वाइन किया। और सर ने यहाँ पर हमेशा, सर जब भी किसी भी मंच पर जाते हैं, हमारे सभी मध्य प्रदेश के वासियों के बारे में तो हमेशा कॉन्स्टेंटली आप सोचते रहते हैं, लेकिन आप हमेशा इंश्योर करते हैं कि आप संभावनाओं की बात करते हैं, पॉसिबिलिटीज़ की बात करते हैं, पोटेंशियल की बात करते हैं, और हमेशा स्टेज पर आकर अपने लोगों के बीच में आकर एक विजन देकर जाते हैं। वही बात आज यहाँ पर शंकर लालवानी जी ने की। तो एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए शंकर जी के लिए। और साथ में हम निवेदन करना चाहेंगे श्री प्रकाश कुमार जी से, डीएमडी सिडबी, कि आप यहाँ मंच पर आएँ और एक ग्रैटिट्यूड एक्सप्रेस करते हुए मोमेंटो सर को प्रदान करें। प्रोग्रेसिव व्यक्तित्व रखने वाले हमारे माननीय श्री शंकर लालवानी जी हमारे बीच में। एमएसएमई में हमेशा आपका सपोर्ट बना रहता है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रकाश जी, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। शंकर जी, आपने हमें यहाँ पर आज ज्वाइन किया। माननीय का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं जोरदार तालियों के साथ। और इसी के साथ हम एक बार मंच पर लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, मैं एक बार फिर से बताना चाहूंगी कि SIDBI has recently had sanctioned term loans to MSME units in Indore, Devas and Ujjain regions areas. And now it's time that we symbolically hand over the checks to the MSME unit holders. And to do the honors, may we please once again request Honorable Shri Shankar Lalwani ji कि आप मंच पर आए यहाँ पर, और हमारे बीच उपस्थित MSME यूनिट के जो ओनर्स हैं, और साथ में हम निवेदन करते हैं श्री प्रकाश कुमार जी से कि आप भी हमें मंच पर ज्वाइन करें और इस सिंबॉलिक चेक के गिव अवे को हैंड ओवर करने के लिए हम मंच पर सबसे पहले बुलाना चाहेंगे कैंडी टॉय कॉर्पोरेट प्राइवेट लिमिटेड से श्री गोविंद मीर चंदानी एंड श्री अमन नारूला जी। आप मंच पर आए और आपको जो लोन सैंक्शन किया है उसका अमाउंट है द टर्म लोन बीइंग 150 लाख रुपीस अंडर द स्पीड स्कीम। एक बार जोरदार तालियों के साथ हम श्री गोविंद मीर चंदानी जी और श्री अमन नारूला जी को, और वो हमें कुछ ही समय में यहाँ ज्वाइन करेंगे। इसके आगे हम बुलाना चाहेंगे सुखमनी फूड प्रोडक्ट से श्री राहुल वाधवानी जी। आप हमें यहाँ मंच पर ज्वाइन करें। टर्म लोन ऑफ 674 lakh under the schemes DCS and WC. The purpose of the loan was greenfield project for setting up of a factory unit at Madhya, Indore and working capital. एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं। Many congratulations. So this is our direct evidence of what SIDBI is doing towards MSME units. Next up, can we please have on stage Ascon Healthcare, Shri Harshad Deen ji on stage please. Term loan of 237 lakh rupees under the scheme of SPEED is being sanctioned to Shri Harshad Deen ji. Ashok, can we please have Shri Narendra Sen ji and Sonu Sen ji on stage please. Red Bank Data Centers Private Limited, a term loan of 735 lakh rupees under DCS scheme. We welcome Shri Narendra Sen ji. And I personally have had training from the Red Bank Data Centers. He has been a constant support to all the youngsters of the state, otherwise as well. The leadership, can we please give it up for Red Bank Data Centers Private Limited, Shri Narendra Sen ji. Many congratulations, and they have got a term loan for expansion project by setting up of a new factory unit at Pitampur, Dhar. Many congratulations, sir. Next up, can we please have Modern Laboratories, Shri Shantanu Kharia ji on stage. Yes, we have Shri Shantanu Kharia ji, Modern Laboratories, and he is receiving a term loan of 300 lakh rupees under PCS scheme. And the purpose of the project was expansion project by acquiring plants and machineries into existing factory unit. Ladies and gentlemen, as we experience and have a direct look on what SIDBI is doing towards making the ease of business possible, we congratulate Shri Shantanu Kharia ji. Next up, can we please have Shri Dipesh Godha ji with us? Shri Dipesh Godha ji, Mantram Industries Private Limited, and they have received a term loan of, any guesses? It's 700 lakh rupees under the scheme of 4E Fin. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please hear it for Shri Dipesh Godha ji? Expansion project by acquiring plants and machineries into existing factory units. Many congratulations, sir. What a delight for all of us to be seeing how the economic development is happening in the country. Next up, can we please have Mr. Chiranjeet Singh Kalra. Mr. Chiranjeet Singh Kalra ji, yes, he's present with us. JMA Alloys, manufacturing of iron and steel casting for automobile industry. And he has received a term loan of 222 lakh rupees under Arise scheme. Many congratulations, sir. On behalf of SIDBI, we congratulate yet another MSME unit for upgradation project by acquiring plants and machineries into existing factory units. Can we please hear it for JMA Alloys? And we also wish them a lot of good luck in upgrading the project and in expanding the business. Next up, many congratulations. Next up, can we please have Shri Soumitra Muchal ji and Shri Nikhil Motwani ji together on stage Sintho Chem Private Limited. Do we have Shri Soumitra Muchal ji and Shri Nikhil Motwani ji? Yes, they have received a term loan of 281.63 lakh rupees under 4E Fin scheme. Ladies and gentlemen, upgradation and expansion project by acquiring plants and machineries into existing factory units. Many congratulations. It's a chemical industry. Many congratulations, sir. And we wish you all the luck for the coming years of progress. Can we please have Shri Mohit Bagaria ji? Shri Mohit Bagaria ji, Amarnath Agro Industries. Yes, we are being joined by the gentleman here, and he has received a term loan of 60 lakh rupees under DCS and WC schemes. Greenfield project for setting up of a factory unit at Hatod, Indore, and working capital as well. Many congratulations, sir. SIDBI is so delighted to be assisting the MSME units within the state. What a privilege for us to be of any assistance to our citizens. Next up, many congratulations. Next up, can we please have Shri Anil Bhatia ji and Shri Anil Jain ji on stage, please? Sean Pharmaceuticals. And they have received a total term loan of 396 lakh rupees under 4E Fin scheme. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please give it up as we, as manufacturing of pharmaceutical products, take us steps towards upgrading and expanding our project by acquiring plants and machineries into existing factory units. Thank you so much. And once again, can we please congratulate all the MSME units, those who have been a beneficiary under the SIDBI assistance. Thank you so much, Honorable, and thank you so much, Prakash ji, for joining us here on stage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, can we please invite on stage Shri Ravi Tyagi ji, who heads the Digital Initiative and Corporate Strategy Verticals in SIDBI, the principal finance institutions for MSME sector in India. He has more than 25 years of experience in debt and equity financing in MSME sector, and he was head of SME Exchange Emerge of National Stock Exchange, and the exchange became operational under his supervision. He has also worked as CEO of SIDBI Venture Capital Limited, with invests in MSME and startup equity. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome Shri Ravi Tyagi ji on stage. And welcome on stage, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. And we saw a lot of big checks being given out. And, you know, the check comes after a lot of wait. I think a lot of entrepreneurs know the check is the last mile of the process, but the process sometimes can become very long in banks and in the lending system. So that's what, you know, the digital things are changing. And I'll quickly discuss, you know, some of the things you know about SIDBI. Everybody has talked about SIDBI. So we'll just kind of quickly run through what is MSME, because most of the MSMEs who are sitting here today are organized as MSMEs. So all of you, you know, you should understand what is the big MSME ecosystem. We just say MSME, but M, S, and M are very, very different things. So this is a number which we say 6.33 crore MSMEs are there in the country, but nobody knows exactly what it is. But there are systems being put in place that we'll have exact number. But this number may be much more than this. This number was estimated around 7-8 years ago. Now, out of this 6.33 crore MSMEs in the country, 99% are micro enterprises. Now, what are micro enterprises? If you go to Indore, I think I was coming from the airport and we passed several markets, and you see so many thousands and thousands of small shops. You will see a small shop, you will see a apparel shop, you will see a mithai shop, you will see some kind of things, people selling stationery, people, traders, millions of traders in the country. Now these are people we don't consider, most of the profile of the entrepreneurs which are here are organized manufacturers, but all these people also contribute in a very big way in the Indian economy. Not only that, there is next rung of informal enterprises which will not even be having a formal fixed shop. They'll be working on a kiosk, they'll be working on a ready wala kind of thing, a sabji wala. These are also people who are not working for someone else, they are working for themselves. In some sense, they are also entrepreneurs. They are also making their own living by doing some business, some service, some product selling every day and night. So for the government of India, all these segments are very important. This segment, the micro enterprise, is important because it's very large. When you say 6 crore or 10 crore micro enterprises, if you add their family members, that means 30, 40 crore people are connected to that ecosystem. So it's very important that this segment rises up, becomes more formalized, becomes more prosperous. And then only the Indian economy grows, because their buying power ultimately translates into business for the organized MSMEs. All of you are in the 1% small and medium enterprises. Very small segment, but value-wise, small is bigger, and medium segment is even bigger. And that's also a very important segment, because India today aspires to be a major manufacturing economy. India wants to replace, China. Maybe China +1 is a big aspiration. China is ahead, but India has all the capability, very good entrepreneurship, and very good institutions today, very good capital markets. So we have all the ingredients to make India good manufacturing, big kind of economy. And a lot of our medium and small enterprises today will have potential to go global, potential to become big enterprises, set up enterprises maybe in other countries also in future. That's what the Indian global manufacturing is expected to rise. So just I was trying to give you the context, because it's important to understand what is the breakup of MSMEs in the country. Quickly, I've already discussed this. Most of them are informal, so I'll not discuss this. Everybody talked about their share in the economy. Now, what is SIDBI doing? Again, I'll not talk much because everybody has talked about it. Institutional finance. So SIDBI, earlier, a lot of entrepreneurs would know we used to support the state finance corporations, which used to give money to a lot of manufacturing units. But today, SIDBI is one of the biggest lenders to banks including cooperative banks, private banks, small finance banks, non-bank finance companies. Nearly more than 100 NBFCs SIDBI has supported in the country. We have a portfolio about 50,000 crores there. And they are distributing a lot of credit to this. I talked about the informal micro segment, the shops, the small traders. A lot of money to these enterprises goes through NBFCs, not maybe the formal banks. Green finance, we have a slide on this, so I'll not talk about this. Cluster development we have talked. Venture capital is another very, very important. India is very fortunate that we have a very good venture capital ecosystem in the country. Why is venture capital good? Because it brings innovation in the economy. These are people who will invest in people who are taking risk, who are doing some, really path-breaking innovation, or they have potential to scale up very fast. And that's one stepstone to a capital market. So in India, it's a very good developed venture capital market, but still, most of the venture capital in the country is coming from overseas, from US and Western countries. So it's very important that we ourselves develop local venture capital investors, and that's what SIDBI is doing. So it is one of the biggest investors in the venture capital funds in the country. Credit guarantee, all of you must be knowing about CGTMSE. It's a biggest credit guarantee corporation in the world, which is managed by SIDBI along with Ministry of MSME. So loans up to 2 crores, and which is now going to be increased to 5 crores. You can get loans without any collateral security. It's one of the best run programs in the world, now emulated by a lot of other countries in the world. We also manage one of the other guarantee corporation, National Credit Guarantee Corporation, So all of you would know during COVID, Honorable MP mentioned that the government took a lot of initiatives, and one of the major initiatives was to have a emergency credit line. I think most of you would have availed that line, and SIDBI managed that guarantee guarantee program. So SIDBI is behind the curtains doing so many things for the MSME ecosystem. I just wanted all of you to understand this. It's not just we do lending and some small cluster program. We are supporting mega institutions which are working, supporting the government programs. Of course, policy advocacy and digital initiatives. So we'll not talk too much about this, but I'll tell you about one program, which is Udyami Mitra. And in this program, this is a digital platform of SIDBI where 1.6 lakh bank branches are connected. All of you would have seen, maybe when you walk across the small markets, or maybe you have heard the name of PM Swanidhi scheme, which was a scheme for street vendors. Because when the COVID happened, nearly all the street vendors in urban areas completely got disrupted. They had to go back, close shop, and they had no money, no capital. So to get them restarted, loans of 10,000, 20,000 rupees were given. And for this, a very innovative digital program, which has again become one of the biggest digital lending program in the country. Nearly 60 lakh street vendors have been given money under this, 10,000, 20,000, and then 50,000 rupees. And I would like to tell you that Madhya Pradesh, I think, was one of the biggest beneficiaries. Nearly 15 lakh street vendors or more than that were from Madhya Pradesh assisted under the scheme. Mr. DMD SIDBI has already talked about the Udyam Assist platform, which we are registering the informal. Now all these informal will be registered here and they will be put under various formalization programs. Green we have talked, but I think all the manufacturing companies here and all the people should know that in coming times, globally, one of the most important subject which is being talked about is ESG, environment, social, and corporate governance. So ESG is suddenly taking big shape. All countries are committing on climate, carbon reduction and things like that. And in future, it also has a very big impact on MSMEs. If you have good environment practices, if you have green practices, two things will happen. You will get cheaper money from banks because banks will have cheaper money for giving to such industries. That's very important for you to understand. So you should connect with SIDBI kind of green verticals and understand that what is this green thing? How do I get my machines labeled as green or my industry labeled as green or my company labeled as green? But it is very important for you to understand it's not only that. Tomorrow when you try to raise equity or you want to go to SME exchange or you want to raise venture capital, again you will get a premium or at least interest of the investors if you have very good environment friendly practices. All I would say is SIDBI is doing multiple things in this. Rooftop solars, energy efficiency, waste to kind of management, putting technologies, to green technologies, making a list of green technologies. So SIDBI is in forefront in the country today for green technologies. So all of you should connect with green vertical or local branch can give you a lot of details. What is this green vertical? How do you become more proactive, climate person in your own ecosystem, in your own community of industries? This we have already talked of, so I'll not stop. I'll talk here. Yeah, so this is one thing which I'll just take some time on this, which is very important for all the entrepreneurs to understand. While you understand that your loans are being sanctioned digitally, so many times you'll get offers for personal loans and things, but you should also know what is happening, what is the journey the country has seen. And it's a very proud thing for all of you to understand, and you should all know about it. So I'll just bring one slide for you to understand that how DPI, which is digital public infrastructure. Now, number one, India today, India's DPI, digital public infrastructure in financial services, and overall DPI, is considered to be the best in the world. It's not one of the best, it's the best. It's better than the Western countries, it's better than any other country. And it's a matter to be proud of for all of us. Because such a large country of 150. Yeah. So we don't realize that how country has progressed. There are countries, very large countries where you still don't have an individual digital identity. Very organized and very big countries don't have it. Hardly any developing country has it. So our journey started with the, if you break this DPI, all of you should understand this. This is just common sense. This is no tech. There may be some terms which may look, but these are very simple things. So it started with the identity rails when UIDI was set up about maybe 12, 15 years ago, and Aadhaar was done. So that set the real digital transformation in country, because that made it possible. India was such a complex country. 100 crore, 140 crore people, out of the 30, 40 crore people are moving. They are in one state in one time and in another state at other time. In one season they're at one place and next year they're at some other place. So it's a very complex, things for governance and then also for lending and other things. So UIDI brought some radical change. And every citizen of the country over a time has now got into the UIDI database. And it's so simple. So UIDI, Indian DPI works with open APIs. Now you should know what is this. It means open pipes, digital pipes. So when there is a database, any institution with a digital pipe can pull data about an individual, with his consent, of course. So this is massive. Now if a small customer, informal customer who's running let's say sabji wala, just to get the person in our mind, a small tea shop, guy goes to a bank, he has an Aadhaar card. So bank can just punch that number, and there is a pipe connected to UIDI servers, which will just check his number and send back his demographic details, and nearly the KYC is done, which used to be the biggest friction for all these people. So this has suddenly opened up everything. It started with Aadhaar, then PAN validations, then eKYC. As I said, eKYC was KYC was always such a complex. Now just imagine all of you have proof of residence, you have so many certificates, you can prove your identity. But a sabji wala, for him to prove his identity was such a tough thing, who was actually from Bihar and working in Bombay or Indore. So now that identity came and suddenly the whole institutional thing started falling in place. And then one after another things happened. E-sign, e-stamping. Stamping was such a complex thing. I think all of entrepreneurs know, bank ke saath document execute karne mein 4 din lagte the. Because you will, take the prints of the document, then go get the stamp paper, and sign at 10 places, 4 sets of documents. Everything is now digital. Digital document, digital stamping. And this was again, path breaking. The GST data. The GST registration has changed everything. Because earlier banks were giving you money based on your balance sheets only. They had no clue what is happening in the company. They didn't have trade granular detail of what you are selling, what you are buying, from where you are selling, where you are buying. When do you sell more, when do you sell less? It was a very difficult analysis for any lender to do. But now this data is available with bank just on a press based on your OTP. So huge digital data now flows to everybody from this. And then of course, revolutionary UPI, which is the best, again, payment system in the world. And then eNash, so lenders don't need a check today. We can just set an auto debit in the accounts and things like that. And QR codes was again very, very big thing. We don't realize how QR codes have changed. Because that sabji wala was still not doing transaction. He was in the cash economy. वो cash में आप सब्जी को वाले को पैसे देते थे and वो cash आपको सब्जी देता था. But that QR code changed everything. Now money is going in his account. This has brought him in the digital ecosystem. Suddenly that sabji wala ka there is a track record of bank account, जिसमें कि रोज transaction आ रहे हैं. The bank can find out that this guy earns 500 rupees every day or 1,000 rupees every day. Based on that, they are able to give him a loan. So QR code was another big revolution. And then of course, one more thing related to all of you is very important, which is account aggregator. You should understand, because this is the latest new thing which is happening in the country. And account aggregator may so when you used to go to bank, what things you need to give? You need to give your balance sheets, you need to give your bank statement, you need to give some more data, your FD details or things like that. But now everything will get pulled again through digital pipes, through the account aggregator system. So this is very, very futuristic. It has just started a year ago, and probably in a couple of years, this will be again one of the biggest enablers of credit in the country. Now, more important for all of you to understand is that lenders are become very fast. They will give you quick decisions. But also lenders have become much more smart. Earlier, one person, there was a limitation to how much he can understand what you are doing and what the other people is doing, what is happening inside your company. Lenders have huge data, and they have very, very smart business engines which are running and which will become smarter with every passing year. So tomorrow, it will be very, very transparent system which will come in. So it's very important for all of you to understand that, corporate governance practices and having a very good kind of financial discipline is going to be very key, because, tomorrow systems will start taking decision. Computer system will decide your company is average, good, financially very disciplined, less disciplined, or there is some kind of patterns which don't look very good. And no bank manager or bank officer will be able to do anything, because everything will be decided by a machine. So you need to understand how these things work. Some things which were acceptable till yesterday will not be acceptable tomorrow, because the bank manager who has very good respect for you will have lesser and lesser role to play in future lending decisions. But again, as you all applauded, and it's really actually a matter of pride that we have a wonderful kind of ecosystem of financial this thing, which will increase financial inclusion. Those people who are good people, who have good transaction history, who are disciplined people, I feel that finance will become a commodity in coming years. You will have hundreds of bank representatives and NBFC representatives coming to your doorsteps to give you money if you are a good person having good scores in CIBIL and CMR. So just now how this digital transforms, just one minute on this thing. We have some time, 5 minutes? Yeah. So just we mentioned, you can visualize, someone like this, small couple of ladies working on a small tailoring shop. Do you feel that they could have gone to a bank and filled up a form and got a loan of 2 lakh rupees? Do you think they have the wherewithal of that? It was not possible. Nor was it possible for SIDBI to do that, because SIDBI is a very lean institution. SIDBI just has 80 branches, but can I give money to everybody in the country? I can't give. But today, with digital technology and some institutions, let's say, who are present in the field, I can give money to anyone in the country. So it's no more that barrier is broken, because my institution, I don't need my partner on the ground will carry my digital tools and sit with that lady, and that partner need not be very qualified. A 10th, 12th pass boy I can train, and he will sit with that lady, understand what they're doing, collect whatever digital information is there or surrogate information, and my engine sitting in Bombay will take the credit decision. So today I'm able to give money to a very, very informal person sitting in a very remote place, who probably would not have got money at 30 or 40% also, unsecured money. I'm giving them at 12% or 13%. So this is transformative. You should understand 10% is the normal lending rate for an MSME, 9%, 10%. But if these people start getting money at 12%, then that's the real transformation and upliftment of the Indian economy which will start happening. So this is a very, very transformative program. We've already assisted more than 1.5 lakh entrepreneurs in last 1 year, and SIDBI's plan is to make it like a 1 million lending program in next couple of years. 1 million entrepreneurs will be assisted. Very, very simple thing. Again, DMD SIDBI talked about this, the GST SAI. Now, what is GST SAI? To give money to a manufacturing unit is little, I would say, less complicated, because you have heavy raw material, you have heavy finished goods and things like that. But imagine a shop, which is a trader, whatever he sells every day and everything goes out, or a small stockist or a small distributor. Their things are moving very out. They don't have any permanent processes happening in the factory. They just have a godown or a shop where goods are moving in and out. It's very difficult to assess them through the normal working capital methods, the CC method or stock method or things like that. So for them, the latest new technology is enabling cash flow. Now, what is cash flow assessment? It's very easy for me to even assess your cash flow also. Because, and I don't take, we have devised a scheme which just requires, 3 inputs. When I give my app to somebody, and some of you will approach, maybe in next, couple of weeks, we are going to start this program for bigger enterprises also, for loans up to 24 lakhs. We are only going to ask you for your mobile number, your GST number, and maybe some consents. That's it. And we will give you an offer of 25 lakhs based on these 2 numbers. Now it looks, complex, but how does it happen? There's a lot of engineering and digital technology working at the back of it. Your mobile number is through your mobile number, I can pull your bank statement data. I will be able to pull your ITR returns in future in the account aggregator, just based on your consent. Through your GST number, for last 2 years of your sales and purchase history has come to me. So I know exactly who are your top 5 suppliers, top 5 buyers, everything we know about you as an industry. Through your consent, we have pulled your credit history data, that what loans you have taken. So I have nearly every information which is required to take a credit decision. I know how money is moving in your company, how it's moving out, because I have debit, credits, GST data, trade data, and system is much efficient than individual, because for individual it may take 2-3 weeks to understand that what you are doing and properly understanding, but system will just understand very quickly. So the system will do all that and just give you a output immediately that yes, I can see, even if you have a working capital limit, let's say you have a working capital of 30 lakhs, but system will calculate that there is maybe more space for 15 lakhs more. So it will give you a top-up limit, and you just accept it, execute the loan agreement. And what we do is we connect the limit to, we fix it to some end use. When you are buying or when you are selling, it's linked to your invoices. So take a use case of a small retailer. For retailer, what is the working capital requirement? It's only when he's buying stocks, right? He's selling retail, he doesn't need, he gets cash. He needs to keep stock of 1 month. His only requirement is somebody when he's buying can pay to his stockist, his working capital is done. So that is what this does. It's very easy to either map it to your purchase cycle or your sales cycle and still provide you the working capital. So working capital, typically we have done stocks and this, but there is a different way of giving working capital, especially when there is fast movement of goods. So this is a very simple thing, just everything is digital and app based. Whenever you want, on tap money will be available to you. So this uses very good quality digital technology. Express loan, I think everybody knows, so I'll not go into it, but SIDBI is giving for existing customers loans up to 3 crores now on express loans. So fundamentally, what we are trying to say is all lenders will be able to take quick decisions. SIDBI is today ahead of the curve. I think no other lender in the country, and all of you can find out, would have so much of digital process and such fast decision making. I think most of the customers, it's not that we are kind of trying to tell something big about SIDBI, but you can just confirm it. Even the private banks, no bank can give you credit decisions in such a fast manner. And because current SIDBI, in last 2-3 years, the SIDBI management has really taken huge steps to transform it digitally. So I'll close this saying that you should know what lenders are doing, because if you don't know that, you may get a surprise someday. It's good for you to understand also how lenders are assessing you, what are the techniques they have, and accordingly you should be disciplined in your company to understand the impact on your companies. Finally, just last couple of slides, it's all of you would have heard of ONDC. How many of you have heard about this? Maybe you have some presentation. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So some people have heard about it. Now, e-commerce is something globally very big. In India, it's still in nascent stage. I'll just start it. So open network for digital commerce. Just 1 minute more. Huh? So globally, e-commerce has picked up very well, even in industrial goods. Alibaba and all have been doing e-commerce for machinery and for import, export also. Not only that, it's a multi-country kind of e-commerce are very, very well settled. But in India, it's still very, very fledgling. Though we have Amazons and we have now, Flipkarts and other people coming in, it's still very nascent, and India is still quite behind the global penetration level of 20%. It's only 1.5%. So things have happened in, by Amazon, but there are issues there, because there are some issues for which, let's see what are the problems there. So there is still, as I said, a large set of Indian MSMEs sits in the informal and small segment. Now these people have problem to get onto the thing. Now there's multiple issues. Their margins get reduced. the platform owners want very big margins, sometimes as big as 30%, 40%. So nearly, though they bring some value, because the platforms bring you customers also, but there is too many of margins because there are many limited platforms. There are just 2 platforms. You have to be on Amazon or you have to be on Flipkart. Hardly anything. Yes, India Mart is there for machinery. But if there were more than one kind of platforms, this price discovery and competition between the platforms will be much higher and people will start getting better terms. So that's why this ONDC has been set up. Now what is ONDC trying to do? It's just trying to create a, take a kind of analogy of the UPI application, right? UPI application, there's so many banks, people are transacting, and NPCI has created one kind of, enabling network, digital enabling network for people to connect with each other. So what ONDC is saying is, why do we want just one platform like Amazon, which has everything, which has buyers, which has sellers, and then that platform starts getting into, monopolistic kind of situation. And so it can decide which sellers I want on my platform. It can charge the rates it wants. And this is, something not very good where we have a large number of enterprises. So now what they have done is they have created a standard protocol. So it's very easy to create a platform because everything, the whole technology and digital specs of a standard protocol have been created by ONDC. Any small IT company can immediately create a platform. So if you are an Indore pharma cluster, you could create a seller app for yourself. For all the pharma companies of Indore, you could create a seller app. And some small IT company will prepare it. And if you create a seller app through ONDC platform, you will be connected to multiple buyer apps. So buyer apps, is a separate kind of apps. People like Paytm, for example, or let's say Airtel, they are connected to, crores of citizens and, representatives of different people. So they will create the buyer apps on the other side. And these specialized, closed ecosystem or open ecosystem seller apps will be created. But this will create more number of kind of things. So for example, ONDC was used in Karnataka and Kerala for creating a mobility solution. So everywhere you have Uber and Ola. In Karnataka, they did some Nama, I think Bangalore or something like that. They created a new taxi service. So everything, taxis there are on an open platform. So it suddenly became very popular, and Ola and Uber suddenly lost a lot of business in these 2 states. So this platform, what it will do is in future, that it will kind of, open up, and all you need to know is there is something like ONDC, and you need to understand what it is. Because in today's small discussion, you will not be able to do, but you go to ONDC website, you should understand and start preparing for selling your things on e-commerce in future. So think that tomorrow e-commerce will be much more active. Today I have my direct customers. Your direct customers will always remain your direct customers. But for getting a better deal for your raw materials or finding a new discovery of new customers, you don't know, from where they will come digitally in India or from abroad. You should know that this is going to pick up, and this will be something very big in future. So ONDC, SIDBI is supporting it a lot. We are shareholder in the ONDC, SPV company which has been created, and we are supporting several seller apps also and buyer apps. Till now, ONDC was working only on, consumer side, the grocery and all those kind of things. But now ONDC is starting to work on, B2B, I think, which will be of interest to all of you, the people who are here. And B2B, once it picks up, some good quality apps start getting created. So most of you should be on both sides, because you should know which are the seller apps. So if you want to sell your products, you go there. And if you want to also be active on the buyer side, you need to be registered with some of the buyer apps. And that's how you get connected to the ONDC. So keep a watch. I'm not telling you much more about this. You should know e-commerce will grow in the coming days, and it will become bigger and bigger, and your company should be prepared for it. So that's it from our side. I hope it made some sense. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Sri Ravi Tyagi ji. We request you to kindly stay back on stage for some more time. And thank you so much for shedding light on the insights from SIDBI on nurturing MSMEs and on collaborations ONDC. Thank you so much, sir. But we were definitely taken aback when you had started speaking about digital public infrastructure, the pride you have in your heart with respect to how India is growing and where do we stand globally, ladies and gentlemen. If you too synchronize with how Sir feels with India's stand when it comes to DPIs of India, can we please join our hands together with pride filled in our hearts and the passion you had spoken it with. And can we please have now Mr. Joydeep Ghosh on stage, please, General Manager, Economic Times, to present a memento to Shri Ravi Tyagi ji. Can we please hear it once again as we express our gratitude for all the knowledge sharing that has been happening from the stage. Thank you, sir. It has been a delight for all of us to be listening to the details and intricacies on the subject. Next up, we are about to begin with our very fun slot, which is a panel discussion, wherein the panelists will be deliberating on the theme of charting the path forward, empowering MSMEs in Madhya Pradesh for competitive and sustainable India at 100. And to do so, we would be inviting our assistant news editor from Economic Times Online, Ms. Neha Diwan. She'll be joining us here shortly once the arrangements on the stage are done. And for the panel discussions, we have a dynamic range of CEOs, CTOs, founders, co-founders from around the country. And now, ladies and gentlemen, moderating the session, we have on stage Ms. Neha Diwan, Assistant News Editor at Economic Times Online. We welcome you on stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Megha, once again. And hope you all are having a very nice evening and taking away from all the insights that SIDBI is giving to us. And setting the context for the discussion, which is empowering MSMEs and MPs in Madhya Pradesh for competitive and sustainable India at 100. It's a given that at a time when the world is facing the unpredictable effects of climate change, the urgency of keeping sustainable development at the helm is increasingly gaining traction for companies. India, as a high-income country in 2047, is according high priority to ambitious targets that drive the sustainability and competitive agenda forward. The country's 63 million MSMEs will play an important role in making the nation meet its long-term objectives of being self-reliant and environment conscious. To discuss more on this, we have Ankur Phadnis, founder, Feedify, Kirti Joshi, co-founder at Infofeet and CEO at Exatip Technologies, Mamta Bakliwal, co-founder and CTO, Empower Integrated Solutions Private Limited and chairperson, FICCI FLO Indore, and Akshat Chordia, Vice Chairman CII Malwa Zone and CEO Rini Life Sciences Private Limited, who will join us for this panel discussion. Please join me in welcoming them, and please, all the panelists, please welcome. Mm, yes, you can sit here. Yeah, please. Hi, hi, hi. Actually, you can sit here. You can sit this side. I welcome you all to this panel. And Ankur, I would like to first start with you. And we have discussed about Feedify and how you are helping empower brands to build up. But when we talk about sustainability, how important is that narrative for companies to internalize along their journey?
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, the sustainability is not a buzzword right now. I guess it's the cornerstone for every responsible and socially responsible companies to acquire sustainability in the system. If you talk about the customers end, customers are more looking forward for sustainable and socially inclined companies, and they want to buy the products from the companies who are aligning with their values. So I guess if the companies are, aligning themselves by creating the products and services which are sustainably active, so those customers will definitely opt for those products and services eventually. This is the, one thing. Second thing is that if a company is sustainably active, then I guess you can also attract top talents from the industry. Because nowadays the people are looking for a company who are more sustainable and more reliable in terms of they are more active in terms of social activities or in terms of environmental activities. So the top talents get attracted to those companies, and we can retain them as well. Apart from this, I guess when a company becomes sustainable, it can drive innovation, because sustainability can create innovations. It can also create, streamline. It can also streamline your processes. It can also streamline your supply chain management as well. So that is also very important over here. That's it.
Supply chain management, as you said, of course, that has again become very important when it comes to sustainable practices. So is that something which you also tell the brands, for whom you help to build customers? Is that something which you do?
Yes, because supply chain is something very important for every business. If you talk about operations in that, तो जो companies यदि sustainable है, they can also offer, वो उनके जो operations होते हैं वो automatically streamline हो जाते हैं. So when the operations are streamlined, the cost reduction also takes place over there, and the companies can get a better benefit, can also lower down the the operation costs, etc. over there.
Right. Kirti, I would like to bring you in at this point, and if we can bring in, the role of technology in all of this. Of course, MSMEs are always told about, how technology is very important for them to upgrade, and how it is the next big step for them. But when you talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, and when you talk about a competitive and sustainable India, what is the role of technology in all of this?
So I think like majorly if you look at every aspect of like how the India is transforming itself, that could be digital payments, or probably how we as an economy is evolving. There's a lot that technology has to bring in. Just there are so many aspects where technology would be applicable. If you consider like let's say when we have wars, like when we see Israel or any other country, it's more of what technical they have. It's no more is fighting with swords now. Everyone is bringing a lot of money into research and development to be equipped for the wars or anything like that. Could be agriculture, that could be pharmaceutical, that could be education or any of the industry. So if we what my idea thinks, I think that when we equip our people, 140 crore people, I don't know how many would be interested in digital transformation, but majorly if you see how the young India is learning technology, anyone who is interested in technology can. I'll just give a broader example where everyone would be able to connect to it. Uh, you know, you can see very young guys, 14, 15 years old. You will see that they go to Google, they use different platforms to do some research on what kind of app they want to build. They use different kind of platforms to understand what is the demand of that particular idea globally. They are doing everything through their laptops only. They are learning different kind of what people are looking for. They are doing research, and then they are doing development. See, like how technology can create an ecosystem is like, let's say one more example is like they are building apps, but they don't have money to test their application on so many different devices, because there are hundreds of manufacturers those who are building mobile phones. Their screen resolutions are different. They have different operating systems, but they can just do some research and find some simulators, and they can run their apps on them, and they can find out like if that is working fine or not. So if we equip those people with different platforms and technology, we will have a transformation in India where people will know how to do research, how to do product development, how to take it to the market. That is how I look at it. And the similar way, this is how any company is doing. They are doing very similar way.
And that is what you are also doing at your end.
Yeah, at our end also, like we are into consulting. We do Salesforce consulting, and almost the same way. What we do is like, let's say some company come to us and they say that we have to be. I'm not talking about environment sustainability over here, but I'm talking about the sustainability of any company, because once they have to reach to a mark where they are profitable enough, or they are running their company by their own, and then they scale on top of it. So they have to be sustainable business to be in the market. So how they create their marketing, how they manage their internal processes efficiently, what they should do to be competitive, because they have to reduce in such a way, they have to bring in their operations that they reduce the cost of delivery. At the same point of time, they create great experience for their customers and consumers. So there are, in that ecosystem, technology is playing very critical role, because there are products that huge companies have built with billions of dollars of investment. And we can directly just simply go subscribe for those products, pay on monthly subscription fee, license fee, and utilize the capability that they have built, and then compete in the ecosystem, the global ecosystem, where you can even compete with huge players, those who have billions of dollars, because you have access to that technology. So that is how you create a sustainable ecosystem, and everyone, as an individual or as a company, you can do it yourself if you have passion to do so.
Right. Of course, passion is the cornerstone of everything. That is true. But taking off from what Kirti told us, Mamta, I would like to come to you, because you are also into a similar genre of mobile and web development. So how can research and innovation, Kirti spoke a bit about it, but how can research and innovation, which is fueled by technology, catalyze growth to make the country one of the world's top 3 economies and bring it to a developed nation status by 2047?
Thank you, Neha. Good evening to you all. Yeah, so see, first, as we were seeing the example of UPIs, right? The digital payment system has penetrated the rural parts of India like anything. But that is what? That is digital adoption. Now, when we need to be innovators to reach a state wherein we are a developed nation, we need to be innovators, we need to innovate because there are a few conditions. For example, if we take the example of, say, agriculture, if we need to do some precision farming there or adapt ourselves to the technology, to the weather conditions that we have, then we need to have our own predictive systems, prediction models where we can predict that if this is the climatic condition that happens, then how we have the systems in place to to face those conditions. So this is how, like, we have to work towards innovation in every sector. Now, technology in itself doesn't mean anything. It is just an enabler. But this innovation in every field, say pharma, medical, anything, carbon credits for climate conditions, all this innovation is really going to fuel what needs to be done. And we, as a nation, can grow up to being a developed nation. For example, now at Empower, we are doing one project wherein we are doing research on AI and ML for uranium mining. Okay, so now if we can predict, because it involves a huge cost, if we can predict where uranium can be found easily through the prediction models through AI, then it will obviously the economy will be fueled, because this is just an example. This is not what we are doing for India, but outside. So if we have to reach that developed status also, we need to ensure that we are innovating at every stage. The importance of just adaptation nahi, innovation has to be emphasized on each and every engineering graduate who comes out of the college, so that they become innovators. And research is the only step, I feel, which will take us to the next developed nation status. Thank you.
Right, because also like in R&D spends, India is one of the lowest versus globally.
Yeah, we need to increase our
counterparts.
research R&D costs.
Yes.
We need to, for example, even in academic institutions, if you look at the research that happens, the funding for research in US universities, and you compare in developed nations, and you compare that in India, now it is growing, but it has to reach to that level.
Right, I think Kirti, you wanted to add something.
Yeah, I have to add something. I think, I think there would be a shift which would be required when, next 25 years. That has to be done is like, if you see the developed economy, the difference between developing and developed is like, the economy they have is majorly driven by services business, telecom, logistics, healthcare, education, or probably the verticals where they are, I would say, third economic, like first primary economy, secondary economy, tertiary, and quadrant. Like, so they have majorly the revenue they are making is from tertiary and quadrant, where this is more driven by the knowledge of the people, but not from the muscle power. So there has to be a shift which has to happen over the next 25 years if we want to be a global superpower, where like for example in agriculture we have more than 50% of people are being employed there. They have been working in agriculture, but the contribution to GDP is 15 to 20%. But when there will be a shift, we will have more and more people who will move out of agriculture. I don't want to say that people should move out of agriculture, but I think the utilization of manpower is not proper there, because they can use a lot of IoT technology, greenhouses, polyhouses, to reduce the number of people those who are working there. Probably they can get more yield out of it and they can make more money. At the same point of time, the people those who would be moving away from agriculture, they can be the part of the knowledge industry, where they will be doing some consulting, they will be doing, probably they will be working in telecom, education, healthcare, or any other industry where the revenue side will shift a lot, because we will be the primary economic model that we are going through right now would disrupt a lot. That and it has to happen, because now India is getting digital and everyone is having access to knowledge.
Right.
I also feel that, the infrastructure should also be improved at the college level, because when the people are doing engineering or any other courses, the infrastructure is very poor in terms of, you talk about developed nations. So that if that is being developed and that is being, made a class, so definitely the the innovation can foster over there. I
At the
guess.
grassroots level.
Yes.
And right from the time of education and, also from some of the premium institutes which are there. Right, I would just like to shift gears a bit over here and move to Akshat. And Akshat, I would like to talk a little bit about healthcare at this point of time, because that's also important when we talk about a sustainable and competitive India. And there are over 13,000 registered MSMEs in the pharmaceutical sector. So in your view, why is healthcare critical for MSMEs to grow and become more resilient in the future?
So, yeah, hi. Thanks, Neha. And aap sabhi ko mera namaskar. So the point is that healthcare is like we are a developing nation, okay? And soon we can expect that by 2047 we'll be the developed nation, okay? For a developed nation, we'll have more and more healthcare requirement. जो young population आज हमारी है वो बढ़ेगी, and we'll slowly and gradually move towards the like older age, which will need more and more healthcare requirements. So for that, all the technologies need to be concentrated on how we can bring the technology to the benefit of like the lowest in the pyramid, okay? To the bottom level of the pyramid, हमें हर गांव तक, हर तहसील तक technology के through healthcare पहुंचाना है, okay? And I think that can be feasible if the MSMEs take part in that, because MSMEs know the pulse of Bharat. The real India lies in Bharat, not in the cities, okay? So there lies a huge potential wherein MSMEs can realize the business of healthcare and providing, like as of now we are 1.4 billion people, and as the projection goes, I expect like we'll be like 1.62 billion in coming decade, and it's not just the India, the world is there for you, okay? We just crossed 8 billion, and maybe in a decade or so we'll be 10 billion, okay? We are more people living on this planet than the number of people ever died. So healthcare is definitely going to be an opportunity, because after the climb, the population is going to decline. And once the decline happens, the aging population will give you the opportunity in the healthcare sector, so which is much needed, and which will give an ample opportunity for all the MSMEs to just crack the game.
Right, but there are also a lot of challenges which pertain to them in the sector, right? There's absence of stringent regulatory standards, limited resources to hire skilled professionals, again, something which Ankur also spoke about. So what about arresting those kind of challenges in this path forward for this sector?
So I think skilling is not an issue anymore, okay? With all the digital platforms we have, skilling will not be a problem. Gradually people will get skilled. We have got so many colleges coming up. We also have the secondary colleges like the ITIs and the diploma centers which are coming up, the nursing centers which are coming up. The government is providing funds for opening up new hospitals. So with a country like us, I don't see like next 10 years, there won't be any problem of skills. It's about the specializing the skills, okay? And I would rather say you from my own example, whenever I hear that we have some shortage of skills or something like that, I don't believe. For some, my personal treatment, I went to US, okay? I went to the best medical institute in the world, okay? And there I realized the best doctors in the world don't reside in US. The best doctors in the world reside in India, okay? For my own very own critical surgery, in that surgery I could have lost my leg, okay? I decided, and even the doctors in the US suggested me, it's better you go to India. Because the number of surgeries an Indian doctor does in 1 month, like not an American doctor, it takes maybe 2 or 3 years. So skilling is not an issue. It's just that we have to give the right platform to our young and enterprising generation. We are a young country now, so skilling won't be an issue. With the technology and with education, skilling won't be a problem.
Right, heartening to know about your experience and that how you looked back to India for to get well. So Ankur, I would like to come back to you and bring this point forward about profitability. And MSMEs are obviously, they are known to be trapped in a lot of finance woes. And when we talk about sustainability, what is the incentive for them to be environmentally sustainable when they are already in the burden of a lot of financial woes? Why should they do it?
I guess that, so if you're opting for sustainability, definitely a lot of positive things comes in the organization. The first thing that I see is that if you opt for a little bit smaller things, like if you are into cost-saving activities, for example, water conservation, or if you are doing activities like using technology which are cost savings, like energy savings technologies, that can also reduce the burden of the company, and they can also increase the benefit of the company, I mean the turnover of the company. This is first thing. Second thing is that if if the companies are using clean technologies, or maybe like using the latest technology, for example, like blockchain, the blockchain is something which is very new, and the companies can utilize those technologies in a very better way to enhance their productivity. And more importantly, they can also map their carbon footprints with a lot of assessment tools available in the market. With mapping the carbon footprints, they can make their organization more sustainable. With this, they can reduce the costs, and in that term, they can also save a lot of other operational burdens as well. Again, I'm coming back to the supply chain management. If the processes are aligned very well in the system, the supply chain management can run very smoothly with a very lean team with the use of technology as well. So I think these points are very important, and yeah, I guess I'm in this.
Will any of you like to add to this about why MSMEs need to, what is the incentive for them to be sustainable?
Can I add?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah. See, the incentive for that is because the MSME is agile. It can adapt itself to the newer technology and create a mark for itself, because in this competitive world, if you have to stand out, you have to do something different and futuristic. And clean technology is futuristic. So in that way, if MSMEs are follow these sustainable goals and reusability, and they would work towards creating a circular economy also, in that case, that will help them. So that is why I think that is an enough incentive, because an MSME in tech field at least wants to do something which is different.
Right.
So that is why it can help them.
Right. Taking off from that, Kirti, I mean, she spoke about tech. What kind of technologies, specific kind of technologies, should MSMEs focus more on in their endeavor to be competitive in the long run?
This question has nothing to do with green energy or anything. Like, it is just about how best we can
competitive
compete in
and sustainable, but more, since we're talking about competitive India as well.
Yeah.
So from that.
Okay, from that aspect.
Yeah.
See, I think what in the last question I said, I'll just extend on that. I think gone are the days. Like, I'll just start from my own experience when I joined IT industry 20 years back. We saw that there are so many huge companies, Fortune 500 or big companies, enterprise companies, were investing huge money on creating their own ERP solutions. They were putting up a lot of money to create how best they can optimize their operations, workflows, how they can cater to their customers on their fingerprint. Just on single click, they will reach out to them and solve their issues. So everything from marketing to production to streamlining operations to sustainability, how they can scale their company fast. Everything, they were planning, they were putting up a lot of money. And, they were able to do it because they had money. At that point of time, everyone has to manage their own, infrastructure, like IT infrastructure. So they need to have team for that. Now they used to have their own development teams, probably outsource in-house or a combination of that. So it needs a lot of money. When they had to use different technologies, they had to have their own research teams, how they can use artificial intelligence, how they can use analytics and different kind of things. That a small company can't do. At that point of time, usually big companies were taking the leverage of their money to create an ecosystem for themselves where they can be ahead of time and compete with other players in the market. Now, small companies were not in a shape to fight back because they hardly had any access to technology, and if they were not having enough money to get into that. Now, over the period of time in last 20 years, the transformation that has happened has helped small companies to compete with big companies, because just to give a very small example, like let's say we don't have money to fight back with Amazon or probably Flipkart because they have billions of dollars. But anyone can go search probably and go and create their own store on Shopify with just a few thousand rupees. That is not going to solve each and every problem, but there for different problems there are different solutions which are available in the market that they can just subscribe to and use. Like there are companies those have invested on artificial intelligence and analytics and different categories of softwares, and you can just go take leverage from those softwares on a subscription basis, and you will be equipped to fight with even big players. That is the leverage that now this generation has got, that I think 15 years back we were not having that level of leverage.
I mean, since we spoke about innovation and we spoke about R&D, of what I mean is, are there some specific technologies out of maybe, of course you mentioned AI, you mentioned AI ML, but any specific tools which they need to look at more consciously?
See, it depends, because different industries are having different products. So some companies like Microsoft focus on different, majorly they are into so many things, but I'll talk about like SAP. So they are more into enterprise solutions. But when you get into SAP, they take a lot of time, and you have to get it customized. It's a huge product and it's expensive also. But probably I don't know like how many people are from tech domain, so they would be able to understand. But SaaS, PaaS, there are different kind of platforms which are available. So one of the I'll just give example of Freshworks or Salesforce. These are the platforms which are relatively much cheaper, very easy to adopt, and it's kind of no code, low code, so you don't need very skilled people to get consulting and get these products onboarded, and then you can take leverage of these technologies to to be competitive with other players. This is just a few examples that I have.
Right.
I would like to add over here is that
Right.
I mean a lot of SaaS tools are available. That your question is that कि कौन से मतलब which
Specific
technology,
tools,
yes,
yes.
specific tools कौन सा
Yeah.
देखना चाहिए. तो I should say that कि whichever field you are going into, वहाँ पे काफ़ी सारे SaaS tools available हैं. Software as a service. You can use those services. You can leverage those, and you can create a very good business. मतलब as a study ऐसा कहा गया है कि एक single person 1 million to 2 million USD per year का business create कर सकता है from the tools available from the market. And if they
So
want
it's
to grow,
about equipping themselves with that,
yes,
development as well, and technology.
there are no developments needed. There are no anything is not needed. Drop shipping is available. Online e-commerce is available. You just to click and create your store and just just ship your product instantly. So there is nothing like if I say like a cloud kitchen, you don't have to do anything. You just have to create your food. Zomato, Swiggy आएंगे वो लेके जाएंगे और product deliver करेंगे. So
You just have to start.
exactly,
You
and
just
then,
have to start.
and then from there you can
Yes.
create your own model, and then you can replicate, and you can give franchising, etc. So
Right.
you can start from there. You can use the technology, and then you can go ahead from there. So that's how.
Correct. Like to streamline the operations, like just to give an example, like Zoho, it's India-based company only, and they have so many products starting from 1,000 rupees a month. You can just bring in, they have SaaS-based platforms. You can just go configure for your needs, and you start using it. So it is going to give you leverage, because a founder can make themselves free from so many different operational stuff that they found themselves engaged. So this is how, if somebody would do some research, in their industry, what kind of solutions are available, and they just go subscribe for it, use it. There are so many, those are free. They can be ahead of time because there are solutions which are available.
Right, I would bring Akshat back in and speak a little bit more about healthcare. It is clear that a business as usual approach will not be the way forward, when we talk about these kind of goals. And there has to be a better way to ensure that health of the people and the planet syncs up. So how can this be possible for India to achieve its goals in its onward journey?
So I'll break my answer in few points, okay? One, it is 100% possible for India to have a sustainable development. Number two, our government is very clear in its objective. आप लोगों ने G20 का स्लोगन सुना होगा. G20 का स्लोगन था One Earth, One Family, One Future. Okay, Vasudev clearly states that we are all connected. Now the third point, the business persons and and I would rather मैं collectively सबको बोलूँगा humankind. Okay, for the sustainable development and the sustainable living on this planet. Explain you with a little story. Okay. तो एक गांव में एक बहुत छोटा, ठीक है, तो किसान एक बार अपने खेत में हल था, सॉरी आई थिंक सम प्रॉब्लम विद माइक. सो किसान जब अपने खेत में हल चला रहा था तो उसे एक घड़ा मिलता है जिसमें सोने के सिक्के भरे हुए थे. किसान बड़ा खुश होता है वो देखकर और वो इमीडिएटली चुपचाप उसे लेकर अपने घर पर आ जाता है. उसकी वाइफ जब उस सोने के सिक्के से बड़े को देखती है तो बोलती है यार अब तो हमारी सारी तकलीफ़ें दूर हो जाएगी. वो बोलता है हाँ मैं कुछ अभी सिक्के निकाल लेता हूँ और हम लोग इससे घर खरीदेंगे, गाड़ी खरीदेंगे. देन ओके, थोड़े दिन गुजर जाते हैं. फिर वो बोलता है यार उसकी इच्छा वहीं ख़त्म नहीं होती है. इच्छाएं मानव हैं हम, हमारी ग्रीड को कोई शांत नहीं कर सकता. तो थोड़े सिक्के और निकालने लगता है उसमें से. तो उसकी वाइफ बोलती है अरे नहीं इसे छोड़ो, कुछ हमारे पास अभी सब कुछ है, थोड़ा सा और निकाल लो, लेकिन बाकी ये सिक्के जो हैं ये हमारे बच्चों के या हमारे बच्चों के काम आएंगे. उस समय तो किसान को समझ में नहीं आती, वो अपनी बीवी को समझा देता है, थोड़े सिक्के और निकाल लेता है. बट उसकी ग्रीड बढ़ती जाती है. वो थोड़े थोड़े करके हर थोड़े साल में वो सिक्के निकालते जाता है और एक दिन देखता है कि वो घड़ा खाली हो गया. तो आपको लगेगा कि ये स्टोरी मैंने यहाँ क्यों सुनाई. सो इस स्टोरी में जो किसान है वो है ह्यूमन काइंड. ओके, वो है हम, आप जो लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं, जो मैं यहाँ बैठा हूँ, इस प्लैनेट पे जितने लोग 800 करोड़ लोग जो रह रहे हैं वो हम सारे बिजनेसमैन, इवन द 7 करोड़ MSMEs. ओके, तो किसान है हम. जो घड़ा है वो है प्लैनेट अर्थ, हमारी धरती माँ. और जो सिक्के हैं वो है रिसोर्सेज ऑफ दिस प्लैनेट, हमारे धरती माँ के रिसोर्सेज. ये आपको और हमको डिसाइड करना है क्या वो सिक्के हम हमारी इसी जनरेशन में सारे निकाल के ख़त्म करेंगे कि या आगे आने वाली हमारी पुश्तें और नेक्स्ट जनरेशन्स फॉर नॉट जस्ट 100 years, फॉर thousands and thousands of years हम उनके लिए छोड़ेंगे. एज एन MSME, एज अ बिजनेसमैन, एंड यहाँ मेजर बिजनेसमैन है, तो उन्हें ये समझना होगा जब भी वो बिजनेस प्लान बनाते हैं ना नेहा, या हम कोई भी अंकुर, ममता, के कीर्ति, हम बिजनेस प्लान बनाते हैं तो आप लोगों ने कभी भी कोई बिजनेस प्लान बनाया होगा, आपने बनाया होगा यार ये नहीं एग्जीक्यूट हुआ तो मैं क्या करूँगा. तो यू ऑलवेज हैव अ प्लान बी. ओके, बट वन क्वेश्चन आई हैव फॉर यू इज, डू यू हैव अ प्लैनेट बी? नो, you don't. Okay, so this is the answer you need to ask when you start your work and when you grow your business, that you have to be sustainable. सारे सिक्के आज नहीं निकालना है. आपके बच्चे, उनके बच्चों के बच्चे और बहुत सारी generations आने वाली है. Dinosaurs sustained on this planet, they were on the top of the food chain for like crores of years, and humankind barely few hundred, like a lakh year, not more than that. In last 1,000, 2,000 years, the kind of havoc we have created, and specifically last 200 years, we need to be more mindful. Even dinosaur got finished. मुझे नहीं लगता हम जिस तरह से चल रहे हैं हम अगले कुछ हज़ार साल भी सस्टेन कर सकते हैं. So, as a businessman, as a human, as an Indian, I would rather say go back to the basics, have sustainable things. आज प्रॉफिट थोड़ा कम कमाएंगे चलेगा, बट इस प्लैनेट को रहने दीजिए हमारी आगे की पुश्तों के लिए.
Right. Definitely, as Akshat said, there can be plan B, but no planet B. So, on that note, I have got the alert for the time which is up. But thanks a lot for being a part of this and for telling us how Indian MSMEs can contribute to a sustainable and development India. Thanks a lot. It was great to have you all here. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all the panelists. We request you all to kindly stay back for 2 minutes. Thank you so much, first of all, for putting the spotlight on the MSMEs empowerment in Madhya Pradesh through competitiveness and sustainability. And it has been such a nice decision that we had put pencils on your tables, because when MSMEs see a pencil, they start making their small plans for development, right, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, now we request Mr. Joy Deep Ghosh, General Manager, Economic Times, to kindly join us here on stage as we thank all our panelists, the speakers, those who are present on stage, by presenting a memento. We request our moderator, Neha herself, to kindly do the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Mamta Bakliwal, co-founder CTO, Empower Integrated Solutions Private Limited and Chairperson FICCI FLO Indore. Many applauses for the lady. Thank you so much, ma'am, as she puts in MSMEs agile and futuristic, and we can ensure so by the use of clean technologies in MSME. Can we have... Now we thank Mr. Ankur Fadnis, founder Feedify. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please hear it as he states, sustainability drives innovation and has emphasized on software as services, and has given a very interesting idea of infrastructure at college level, which I think would be a next topic for the next series from T. Next up, can we please present a memento to Mr. Akshat Chordia, Vice President, CII Malwa Zone and CEO, Rini Life Sciences Private Limited, as he says that it's 100% possible to be sustainably developed, and also states that healthcare in India is professionally the best. Next up, can we please present a memento to Shri Kirti Joshiji, co-founder at InfoFeet and CEO at Exatip Technologies, as he puts that India is putting a lot of money into research and development, and we need to use technology to be ahead of our times, especially in business. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Together, can we please give a big round of applause to all our panelists for their knowledge sharing and for diving deep into the understanding of transformative impact and empowering MSMEs. Thank you so much, everybody. And also, thank you so much, our dear moderator, Ms. Neha Devan, Assistant News Editor at Economic Times. Thank you so much, gentlemen and lady. Thank you so much. Next up, and for the final address of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, now it's my immense pleasure once again to be inviting on stage Shri Anjani Kumar Srivastava ji, a civil engineer from the University of Delhi, has about 28 years of experience in development banking in SIDBI. Having joined SIDBI in 1994, he has worked in various operational areas of the bank like direct credit to MSMEs, receivable financing, infrastructure financing, stressed assets management and NPA management, human resources and premises verticals at various levels across branches, regional office, head office verticals in SIDBI in various cities like New Delhi, Ahmedabad, Lucknow and Mumbai. He was instrumental in setting up an asset reconstruction company of SIDBI. In his earlier role, he was the Chief Finance Officer, CFO, at Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency Limited, which is Mudra. Currently, he is heading SIDBI's Pune regional office with a jurisdiction across Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Shri Anjani Kumar Srivastava ji. Welcome. Yes.
Thank you, Megha.
Thank you, sir.
So very good evening from SIDBI once again. SIDBI, we heard a lot about SIDBI from our DMD, Shri Prakash Kumarji, and Ravi Tyagi, our Chief General Manager of our digital initiatives. SIDBI, you know, has been
for the MSMEs, of the MSMEs, and by the MSMEs, trying to address the problems for the last 3 decades. And once again, we're here. I'm here to tell you what we can do directly to you, how we can affect, how we can make a difference to you, your lives, in your industry, to make you more resilient, which is, I think, the topic, to make MSMEs more resilient in future. I feel privileged when I come here and talk in front of you because, you know, you're a group of people who have dreamt to set up an industry, who have actually labored, who have, you know, persevered and put in so much of hard work as far as your units, your industries are concerned. And at the same time, you have, you know, gone through so much, be it, you know, in the recent past, be it demonetization, be it the COVID pandemic, be it the supply chain disruptions that have taken place because of the wars and all. And in spite of that, you have persevered, you have, you know, kind of sustained yourself, you have people, you have stomachs to feed in your units because you've employed so many people and their families to take care. So I think the heroes of this meeting and today's meeting are sitting right in front of us, and I think we should all give a very big clap to all of you. So coming to what we can do, what SIDBI is doing, of course, indirectly, we do refinance and we do a lot of promotional and developmental work, but we have a direct finance wing. We do direct financing, and direct finance has been one of those verticals in SIDBI for the past, I think, 25 years, which we are doing. And we have touched a number of MSMEs with our direct finance initiatives. Have we the presentation starting? So I think that presentation is still taking time. So when I talk of our direct finance, SIDBI is a very lean organization. We just have, you know, probably 90 odd branches across the country. And of course, in Madhya Pradesh, we just have 2 branches, one in Indore and one in Bhopal, through which we are trying to address the MSMEs. Because one thing you have to appreciate, that we are not a bank, we are not a typical bank where we have multiple branches, but we are a DFI, we are a developmental financial institutions, and we want to make an impact. We want to create a difference where actually banks are unable to, you know, kind of address those areas. So coming to our direct finance categories, we have broadly 4 types of categories. One is the machinery loans that we have, and under machinery loan we have 2 schemes. One is a speed scheme and the other is a express scheme. I will be detailing them when this presentation starts. The second type of assistance, or the second type of loans that we have, are project related loans, where we would like the MSMEs to set up a new unit right from scratch, say from land, building, plant and machinery, where we have schemes like Arise and Sthapan. The third category is our green finance vertical, or the green finance loans, where we have a green finance scheme and we have a 4E financing scheme. And the fourth category is the working capital, which is a bane of a number of MSMEs, where we have our regular working capital scheme, and we have a new scheme which we have launched called the SWIFT scheme. Are we starting? So finally, it could start. This is the control. So basically this is what I had told about the 4 categories of loans. So coming to speed scheme, this is a scheme where we are providing loans for machines, machinery financing, that is what he said. We provide 100% financing against a minimum 25% fixed FD. And if you don't want to give take the 100% financing scheme or give a 25% FD, we have a promoter contribution model where you can give 25% as promoter's contribution and 75% can be given as the loan to the for the machine. We can cover expenditures that you have incurred in the last 6 months here. And the eligibility that we have is that MSMEs that are in operation for the last 3 years and should have a cash profit in the last 3 years. For new to bank, you must be obviously track record is not necessary, but if you're an existing customer, 1 year of a satisfactory track record is required. We do our normal due diligence of CIBIL and all, CIBIL CMR, and we offer MCLR based rates in this with repayment periods up to 7 years. The second scheme of machinery financing is our Express, which our CJ Mr. Ravi Tyagi had spoken about, where this is an automated process where which has been designed under a business rule engine, and you just have to sit in your house, apply for it, and within a few minutes you can get a loan sanctioned. But as there is no human intervention, no manual intervention involved, obviously the rules of the game have been kept at slightly tougher in this. And broadly what has been done is that we have used a concept of fit rank in this, which is nothing but a triangulation of your GST return, of your financial, of your bank account statement, and your IT income tax returns, and at the same time your repayment track record. Based on these, business rule engine has been defined, and a loan can be sanctioned under this. The minimum loan, the maximum loan that has been fixed under this has been fixed at 3 crore. I mentioned it as 1 crore, but it's actually 3 crore. We offer MCLR based rates of interest and with a repayment period of 5 years. So, in fact, a number of our customers have started availing this, and they have been coming to our project financing scheme. Arise is a scheme which is there for our existing units or those entities which are in existence and they are basically setting up brownfield units. It is for expansion, modernization, or any other capital expenditure that you want to incur. The eligibility is you must be minimum 2 years in operation. You must have cash profits in your last audited financials. Our rate of interest are MCLR based rates, and we offer a very generous repayment period of up to 7 years. And the maximum limit is 50 crores in this scheme. In fact, I would like to share a story of one of our existing customers of Indore, Rainbow Enterprises. Mr. Milind Solanki is here. He manufactures auto parts for Eicher Motors at Devas and Pitampur. And he is our customer since 2011. And in fact, he has taken loans under Speed and Express both. When he joined us, his turnover was around 97 lakhs, and today his turnover is around 8.4 crores. So this has been his journey when he has joined SIDBI. So I think it's quite an achievement for him and an achievement for SIDBI also as we partner. And in fact, I would request Milind ji, if you would like to speak a few words on your experience with SIDBI.
Thank you, sir. SIDBI के साथ मेरा एक्सपीरियंस बहुत अच्छा रहा. पिछले 12 साल की जर्नी है. SIDBI है तो रेनबो ने अपना बिजनेस किया है और बिजनेस को ग्रो किया है. थैंक यू अगेन SIDBI.
Thank you, Milinji. We hope we can keep serving you in future and hoping that you take your dreams to greater heights as well as your company. Thank you. So coming to the next project loan that we give is Thapan. This is basically for greenfield projects. Those entities who want to set up a completely new, those who want to set up a completely new entity or a new unit as a greenfield entity, we fund the land, the civil construction as well as plant and machinery. Here also we offer a very attractive rates of interest, which are again MCLR based rates and repayment periods up to 7 years, and of course the loan amount can go up to 50 crores in this also. But definitely here we ask for those promoters who are more or less in the same line of business, so that they have a good experience of running their business. Coming to our green finance scheme, green finance, a number of speakers, in fact in the last session, most of our speakers, they spoke about sustainability and the need for sustainability, considering that we have only one planet, the only planet that we have to live in, and it is something that we owe to our future generations that are coming. It's a responsibility, and under this scheme we can assist or we can give finance to such projects which are basically for renewable energy, or those projects which are for mitigation, including energy efficiency, cleaner production, resource efficiency, circular economy, or for carbon capture and storage, or for green buildings, green products, waste management. This scheme is such a wide scheme where you can cover any kind of project which you conceive for greening the planet. I would put it in that fashion. The loan can be availed by manufacturing units or can be availed by service providers which can be either RESCOs or ESCOs, EPCs, vendors. Anybody can come under this scheme. If you are executing projects for any government body on green financing, you can approach SIDBI under this scheme. And here also we can give you a repayment period of up to 10 years. For MSMEs, the limit is 20 crores, and for the service provider, the limit is 50 crores. Another very interesting scheme is our 4E financing scheme, which is basically for implementing energy efficiency measures. Now, energy conservation is a very important area where we feel that as the minimum you use energy, the lesser the carbon footprint that you create. And under this scheme, we give very attractive repo-linked rates to our customers here. And in fact, here our minimum eligibility is that they should have been a minimum of 1 year in operation. And the most attractive thing is that we do not ask for any detailed energy audit here. Because under the earlier scheme of green finance, we generally ask for a detailed energy audit for the entity to be carried out, and so that there is an actual impact of green financing there. Coming to our working capital financing, we have two schemes. One is our normal working capital scheme, where this is again, since SIDBI is a DFI, we are not a bank, we have collaborated with Yes Bank, IDBI and IDBI where basically we are using their platform and offering you working capital facilities. Of course, mostly such kind of customers who are on sole banking, they come to us. And again here, the pricing is MCLR based, and you can approach us for a typical working capital facility. A new scheme that has been designed, this is actually what is interesting, is that where we are coming out with an overdraft facility to MSMEs for their working capital requirements. This is again with to existing MSMEs with a vintage of 3 years and do not have a working capital or an OD facility anywhere. Here, again, this arrangement would be through IDBI or through Yes Bank, and the assistance would be restricted to 20% of the total sales turnover of trailing 12 months as per the GST returns, subject to their MPBF, that is the maximum permissible bank funding. The pricing is MCLR based here. This is a special scheme to lady entrepreneurs who have set up their units. And here the differentiating feature is that we offer them a lower processing fee, and we offer them a 50% of the credit guarantee fee that is borne by SIDBI. Otherwise, most of the features are almost the same. It's MCLR based rates that we offer with a repayment period of 2 to 7 years. And as this is for ladies, similar scheme we have for SCSTs, which is called as SAT, and similar 50% concession in the credit guarantee fee as well as the processing fee is shared by SIDBI. As we said, entire process is digital. The digital process is end-to-end, where you can sit at your home, make an application online. Our sanctioning process is completely digital. Our documentation is completely digital, and our document disbursement process is also completely digital. So with this, I come to the end. What I just wanted to say is that these schemes are just a means of telling you that, what we can give you. But the fact is that for you, you just need funds for your project, whatever be the kind of project. So what I just wanted to say, if you are in need of funds as an MSME, please approach SIDBI and we can always structure something for you. These schemes are just names there, but definitely we can structure something out for you. Just give a knock to SIDBI whenever you are in need of funds. So with this, I'll come to the close of my session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anjani Kumar Srivastava ji. Sir, we will have an open session for now. Will you be answering? You'll be taking the questions, right? So, yes. Can we have the mic, please? We have an open session. We'll take 3-4 questions. You have anything to ask to SIDBI? We have our general manager himself.
Sir, you mentioned about the green initiative or the green loan that you were talking about. So here's my scenario. We planted 35,000 trees over a barren hill. Took us 7 years. Got a biodiversity award. We still have to buy water and all of that. So we're making the planet green by not putting any factory around it. Just 35,000 trees, number one. Number two, now to sustain that ecosystem and several other ecosystems across India, we work with tribal communities. We have developed a range of products which we are selling at prime spaces like airports of India. So as a startup and as an MSME registered startup now, I do not have a factory and I don't intend to have one, because these tribals, these inclusive communities are doing a great job, and if I don't give them, and if I make myself, they'll not have anything. And they will go down and burn the forest for things like mahua and all of that. So when I'm supporting them, and I'm selling it to the end consumer at very prime retail outlets of India, at the airports, I need working capital to give deposits to the airports when the biggies of the world are competing for that airport space. One is that. Two, there are again contracts there. So again, for contracts also we have to pay them. Plus, as I said, it's not exactly manufacturing. It's more like getting it done from inclusive communities across India. So what's your say there? I mean, how can we get any kind of assistance there?
So one is, see, when we talk of MSMEs, it's not only manufacturing. You know, we say that micro, small, and medium enterprise. That is the word enterprise. So enterprise means we have manufacturing as well as service sector entities in the fold of MSMEs. That is one. And second is, as you said, your requirement is more in the nature of working capital, which we said that we can provide working capital. Of course, every project is unique and every project has to be seen differently. So you're welcome to approach us. We have an Indore branch. You are welcome to approach us with your project, and we can definitely take a look at your project and see whether we can.
But do we get extra points for the green initiative that we have taken? And also, sir mentioned about ONDC. So we've registered our products with ONDC with no visibility at all. So again, the fact that we have planted 35,000 trees 1 hour from here and all of that, do you think we could get more visibility on platforms like ONDC, because SIDBI apparently is a stakeholder?
Now, there are two parts to your question. One is when you said extra points, I don't understand what you mean.
Visibility, for example, or a better interest rate.
Interest rate is something which is, uniform. We don't offer any subsidies. But green scheme is again MCLR based list. So while our rates are competitive in the market, that is what we can say. Yeah, but our interest rates are competitive. That is one. And second is, when you come on ONDC is a very democratic platform right now. So when you talk of more visibility, you would like, it's like, you have a Times classified or a ET classified page where you have your name in bold letters. So I think that's not the structure of ONDC right now. Maybe going forward it might be that.
Any other questions? Yes.
सबसे पहले तो मैं सिडबी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ कि ये प्लेटफॉर्म हमें दिया, हमें जानकारी उपलब्ध करवाने के लिए। अभी सर वर्तमान में हम प्राइवेट बैंक के साथ CGTMSE स्कीम का लाभ ले रहे हैं। तो हम सर सर्विस इंडस्ट्री में हैं, तो सिडबी के साथ हम डायरेक्टली अभी जुड़ सकते हैं क्या?
अवश्य जुड़ सकते हैं।
तो सर जैसे अभी कोई भी XYZ हमें ROI मिल रहा है वहाँ से प्राइवेट बैंक से CGTMSE के थ्रू, तो सिडबी के साथ हम जुड़ते हैं तो ROI में हमें कम मिलेगा या फिर सेम?
पहली चीज़ तो दो अलग अलग चीज़ें हैं। सिडबी लोन देगा वो एक अलग चीज़ है, ठीक है, और CGTMSE क्या आपको उसके साथ CGTMSE को जोड़ना है, ये दूसरी चीज़ है। पर इसमें पहली चीज़ है कि आपका लोन होना चाहिए किसी भी बैंक से, चाहे सिडबी से हो, चाहे X बैंक, Y बैंक, कोई भी बैंक हो, है ना, वो लोन होगा। CGTMSE क्यों दिया जा रहा है, ये समझने की बात है। CGTMSE इसलिए लिया जा रहा है कि आपके पास कोलैटरल सिक्योरिटी नहीं है, तो उसके एवज़ में ये CGTMSE का जो एक पूरा महकमा बनाया गया है और CGTMSE की जो स्कीम बनाई गई है, वो उसके एवज़ में बनाई गई है कि आप।
Hi sir. Sir, is there any funding for exporters in case of buyer's credit or letters of credit type of things in SIDBI?
That is something so far we are not having, because I think that those products are still, we are working on it, on those kind of products, but presently we are not having those kind of products.
Okay. Another thing is there that like we are setting up a new plant in Turkey. So any assistance abroad out of India?
We cannot see.
We can structure something. See, I got finally. So you're setting a unit in Turkey, and you want funding from India.
Yes.
We can structure something. Obviously, it depends on. We would like to look into your project, and we can offer you a loan. It's.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other question? We can take one last question.
I think that gentleman, the last there. आखिर में उधर.
हेलो सर, पेट्रोल पंप के केस में क्या सिडबी सपोर्ट करता है फाइनेंशियल्स में?
देखिए इसमें दो चीज़ें, पेट्रोल पंप कर सकते हैं, एलिजिबल एक्टिविटी है, हम कर सकते हैं।
उसका अप्रूवल आया है, कंफर्मेशन आया है, जीएसटी ट्रांजैक्शंस बहुत अच्छे हैं, कोलेटरल्स भी काफ़ी अच्छा है, बट जैसे ही मैंने जीएसटी के लिए अप्रूवल के लिए बात किया और फाइनेंस के लिए करा, तो उसका रिक्वायरमेंट जैसे 5.5 सीआर जा रहा है, राइट? बट वहाँ पे इस केस में क्लियरली मना कर दिया गया कि सिर्फ सिडबी सिर्फ मशीनरी और उस पॉइंट पे इंटरेक्ट करता है। बट पेट्रोल पंप के अंदर भी हम लोगों के पास ईवी इन्वॉल्व है, सीएनजी इन्वॉल्व है, एंड डीजल एंड पेट्रोल भी इन्वॉल्व है। और मैं खुद सोलर एनर्जी का प्लेयर हूँ, रिन्यूएबल में अपने आप में सेगमेंट है मेरा इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस में। देयर इज़ द बिग इम्पैक्ट कि जहाँ पे सिडबी इंडस्ट्रियल लोन्स के लिए बात कर रही है, तो वहाँ पे जब इंडस्ट्रीज़ के वेल प्रूफ्ड डॉक्यूमेंट के साथ हम लोग बात करना चाह रहे हैं, तब भी वो सिडबी का वो नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट क्यों इंडस्ट्रियल विथ वैलिडेशंस नेगेटिव साबित हुआ है, ये चीज़
कंसेप्चुअली आपका प्रोजेक्ट कवर कर सकते हैं, आई कैन, बट एवरी प्रोजेक्ट आई सेड इज़ यूनिक, हर प्रपोजल यूनिक होता है, उसके मेरिट्स में जाके उसको देखना पड़ता है।
Right,
so I don't know the details of your proposal or project, so that's why I'll not be able to comment on your project. But yeah, conceptually, if you ask me, petrol pump हम कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं, और it depends again on what is your exact project and how you presented it.
Sir, I read the schemes of Sthapan and that's the second one scheme, which is eligible, fulfill the criteria of this scenario, sir.
आप देख लीजिए, इधर सिडबी इंदौर में आकर के एक बार फिर से डिस्कस कर लीजिए।
श्योर, थैंक यू सर।
सर, ये स्टार्टअप को फाइनेंस करते हैं हम लोग?
स्टार्टअप फाइनेंसिंग हम लोग डायरेक्टली नहीं करते हैं, बट हाँ इनडायरेक्टली हम लोग का जो एक वेंचर विंग है उसके थ्रू होता है।
Any more questions? Any further questions? We're good? Thank you so much. Can we please hear it for Mr. Anjani Kumar Srivastava ji, everybody? Sir, we had requested you to kindly stay for some time, and with your experience at SIDBI comes a lot of simplification and clarity on all the curiosity and related questions we had here in the audience. I hope you all have had satisfactory answers. Ladies and gentlemen, can we now please invite on stage Mr. Joy Deep Ghosh, General Manager, Economic Times, to please come up on stage and present a memento to Mr. Anjani Kumar Srivastava ji, General Manager, SIDBI, as he in all confidence states that ONDC is democratic and we surely are competitive at SIDBI. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the conclusion of Indore edition of SIDBI MSME Conclave 2024. Thank you once again to all our esteemed speakers and all our participants who represent the Madhya Pradesh MSME ecosystem. We hope you found this a valuable knowledge sharing and enabling experience, and we wish you the very best as you chart the next wave of your growth. And do we all know that when do the entrepreneurs become archaeologists? It's when they want to dig in more into capital, isn't it? So this was a perfect collaboration and coming together of SIDBI along with MSME. And we also thank Economic Times for providing us the platform. I am Megha Thotra, your Master of Ceremony, signing off. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day ahead. Thank you. And the dinner is open. You all can join us over the meal. Thank you.